You hear that, everyone? That is the sound of me hitting a jackpot of $1,200. 2 spins into my casino session here today. I was using my $250 free play, and I thought the machine was broken. But I looked up, there's a 3X, a 2X, and a double bar, which paid out $1,200 on a $5 machine. Woohoo!
And you never walk away from the table when you're on a heater.
It's an Adam. Oh, it's a 101.
Boys and girls at home and kids in the gallery, let's go!
Hello, Packamaniacs, and welcome to another episode of Pack to the Future. I'm your host, Ricky, a.k.a. Mr. eBay. And the always informatively entertaining Dr. Chad.
Someone call for a doctor?
How you doing, Doc?
If I'm as accurate on my medical diagnoses as you are on that statement, then we're golden.
Yeah! And he went back to bend over, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Dr. Tim!
Here we go, baby. Prepare to be underwhelmed.
Well, as we heard in the pre-show, Timmy went gambling again.
Yes.
Yeah. We're going to hear all about that later in the show. But before we jump into that, we've got, Chad, you are thinking about grading some cards, as are you, Tim. We're going to talk about some grading options and companies, break them down. And before we get to that, I've got, hey, what's my name? Mr. eBay. I got an eBay story, guys.
Yes,
Woo!
that's what we like.
So let's jump right into it. Man, usually I outrun the intro.
You were right on the ball this time.
I was. All right. So recently I was on eBay, and a few weeks ago I was telling you guys that I had a bunch of eBay gift cards I was looking to spend. Couldn't figure out which card to buy.
Yes.
So I've been looking, and I want to know if you guys have ever had this experience. I want to know if our listeners have ever had this experience.
Uh-oh.
eBay turned into the pound for me for a minute.
Like the dog pound?
Yeah.
Ugh.
And a card caught my eye, and I felt sorry for it. I felt sorry for the seller, more specifically.
Wait,
Tease is good.
Pound as in like you went to the Humane Society
Yeah,
and like
you
you felt sad for the puppy in the
Exactly.
cage?
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you for completing my
Okay.
thought using words. Something I should be doing.
It's
only a
has other
podcast, it's fine.
connotations.
Yeah. So
What's the bell for?
You'll see, Tim.
oh yeah, it'll be a trend.
Okay.
So there was a card. It's a PSA 9. I can tell you that now.
Okay.
yeah,
Narrows it down to 5 or 10 cards.
about 1,000. And it was, I think, for sale for about $30. So I watched it, and it was offered to me for $13.
Wow. Below the 50% threshold.
Way below.
Wait, like direct, like sent you an offer without you even having to send the offer in the
Correct.
counter?
Just for
Wow.
watching. Oh yeah. No, I wasn't offering.
Like one of those.
It was more just like, that's an interesting card.
Yeah, that's kind of a pathetic offer.
And all I could think were two things. One, I just feel so sorry for this guy. How desperate are you to drop a PSA 9 for $13? I don't care who it is.
Kobe White?
Yeah, as we're going to cover in a bit, these are not cheap things to have done to your card.
Mm-mm.
So I think a lot of what you see is sellers don't want to recoup those fees at least.
That's true. $13 doesn't cut it there.
No. Would either of you like to guess the player? Because I don't think you can guess this card. I didn't know it existed.
I'm going to say that it's Matthew Stafford.
Okay. Matthew
Stafford. $13 is a bit low for Stafford.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay.
Hmm.
Both wrong. Wrong sport.
All right.
I got my gold card. Cecil Fielder.
What in the world?
Never leave home without it.
I've seen something like this before.
That's awesome.
Read the label. So I didn't do a very good job.
Okay, so 1995 Studio, Cecil Fielder Gold, and it very much looks like an American Express card.
Yes. And if you'll notice at the bottom, what I love are the gimmicks. It gives the date, as the expiration date is the date he started in the majors, the month and year.
Is there a stripe on the back too?
There's a stripe with his signature on the back. It's amazing.
That is super cool.
And then it also has his date of birth in there as well. It has the a hologram of the Tigers logo in the 90s, 95 specifically, which is
such a 90s thing. The
oh
hologram.
yeah. And my favorite Tigers logo, the one with the tiger climbing through the D's.
Yeah.
Actually, I like the Screaming Tiger, the 84 Tigers, the best. But this is very close second. And so, yeah, I just thought, remember when
That is so cool.
Remember when we picked up like License to Drive cards?
Yeah.
From Absolute Basketball?
Yeah.
Those are
We were
great.
so excited just showing them around. I got my ID right here.
I do remember that. Were they from Absolute? I don't remember where they're from.
I
But those
think
were,
they were.
Those
I
were
think
awesome.
they were.
Yeah.
There's the back of that thing for those of you watching on YouTube. That is amazing.
Yeah. So I thought, hey, it's not rare per se. But it's a
There you go,
PSA
Tim. Take a
9.
look at that, I feel.
What a fun purchase.
Yeah.
You can't even go to McDonald's for that price anymore.
I think for $13, I was like, yeah, I think I have to. I PC him, you know?
This looks better than the gold card I got Wendover.
It really does look quite nice. And you can't tell because it's in the casing. You can't rub it. But I do believe they've stamped the numbers in, as you can tell from the back there.
Yeah,
It does
look
look-
embossing.
yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it's pretty cool. But $13. But I really want to know, have you guys ever done that? Like, because what literally pushed me over the edge was, God, I just feel so bad. Like $13.
This was a sympathy purchase.
Kind of it was. And I didn't use any of my gift cards.
Oh my goodness.
I can tell you
Yeah.
a decision has been made as to the gift cards.
Oh, see?
And the card is on its way.
Oh, like that's not a decision. You already spent it.
I've made a decision. And then
So
I
bit of both.
executed it.
Fair.
I will tell you that had the card price come to me that low, I would have been worried that something was wrong with the card. So the conspiracy would have immediately entered my brain that there's something up here.
No, that's desperation because you get the email in your in basket and you're like, oh, seller offered you, 5% off the listed card price.
Right.
Hurry up and act, or 25%, but $13 out of 30. That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty desperate.
It was
It's
hard to
pretty
say no.
desperation. Yeah.
But
What
like,
search term did you have on eBay to come across that?
I don't even think, I think what happened is I was searching Cecil Fielder archives. I search his archives cards, where they do the buybacks. 'Cause
Yes.
you can get
Topps archives. Yeah.
some kind of cool rookie cards and stuff.
Yeah,
And you know how after there are only so many,
yeah.
believe it or not, only so many Cecil Fielder cards out there.
You don't say.
So after it would run through the new search, it would then just take me to other Cecil Fielder cards. I
Yeah,
think that's
the ones
how-
you may be interested in.
I wasn't looking for that. I stumbled across that.
That's pretty cool.
So good for eBay's algorithm. They got me. And you're welcome, seller, wherever you are.
Yeah.
28 home runs, 90 RBI in 1994.
He was no slouch. Yeah.
He was an MVP around that time.
That's a big
maybe
man.
92.
That is a
Oh,
big man.
And his son was a big man. Prince.
Just watching him run to first.
Did you know
Right.
he hit 38 home runs in the 1989 for that? That's worded weird. For the Hanshin Tigers of the Japanese League.
Huh.
In Japan, he is called Wild Bear.
I did not know the wild bear part. I knew he played for a moment in Japan.
He mashed in Japan.
Yeah, he mashed in the MLB for a couple of years.
Yeah, he did.
So
Is that
did
like
his son.
pillowing in Japan for anybody that's watched Shogun?
I hope that people can hear this.
Oh,
on
I
the
think
podcast.
so. I think so.
All right.
All right, I'll shut up.
No, keep going.
No, the bell's here for a reason. It's not to not be used. It's not here for the looks.
So yeah, I just get at us at our Instagram at Pack to the Future Podcast. Let us know, like, if you ever made a sympathy buy, and if so, tell us the story. You might get featured. I don't know.
I like it.
I don't want to hear. I gotta think I'm not alone in this, and this is not the first sympathy purchase I've made in my life. So it's out there. Love
Usually
it every
people
minute.
are giving me the sympathy stuff. It's usually not the other way around. So you're in a position of power. Good work.
Yeah, well, thank you. I was pretty excited, and yeah, check us out on YouTube to see photos of or video of the Cecil Fielder gold card.
Very
The other thing
nice.
I like randomly, sorry, and then I'll let it go. This was a set of 50. This is number 45, which is his jersey number. Now it's not
Oh, yeah.
a parallel numbered. I get it, but still kind of cool.
That is.
I look for the special meanings there.
I like it.
Jadwin,
Yes, sir.
you shared with us a super awesome Mickey Mouse rookie card.
Yeah, sure.
And I think we talked about it briefly. I can't recall if we were still on the air when we were discussing it, but that you are intending to get it graded.
Mm-hmm.
And so we thought we would talk a little bit about which company you should go with. And in this discussion, I don't think we're going to focus so much on, hey, what's going to get you the most bang for your buck. I think that's been covered multiple times. I'm more interested in kind of a status update of the grading companies and finding out which process would be the most easy, streamlined, customer friendly currently. So you listed a number of card companies. We've kind of broken them down. What do you have for us, Chad?
So I chose the top 4, which I don't think will be a surprise to anyone.
Red Rocket's not on there?
It is number 1.
Spoiler alert.
Yes. So of course we have PSA, we have SGC. I still put BGS on there, which may be a controversial one. And then CGC.
Yeah.
So those are the 4 that I kind of looked at and put up some parameters around what we can discuss.
Okay. I'm going to be the big idiot. Why is BGS controversial?
They've had a really rough past. The time frame I'm going to butcher. I will ballpark it and say year or 2, if not even longer.
Maybe 3. The slide began like COVID-ish.
Yeah.
I think you're
COVID.
right.
Yeah.
Their backlog was quite poor. And I got to make sure that I'm not misspeaking here, just more based off the gut, what I have felt. They did change for a period of time their
The star logo.
their label. And it was bad.
It was bad.
So bad.
And I think that they introduced it at one of the nationals, maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And got some pretty heavy backlash. No one liked it. And from there, things seemed to just take a turn. They had new ownership and they said, hey, we're going to do these new things. But I don't think people who grade with BGS want something that's new and different from someone who isn't a card guy.
I agree. So Dr. B is for Beckett's no longer involved?
No longer involved.
Hasn't been for a while, but yeah.
No, I know. I just had to get that name out.
Yep. Still got to see what shade of black my soul turns when you say that.
No, and for me, didn't they get rid of, I saw they got rid of the paper labels. Did they? Or maybe I'm wrong about that. I thought I saw that, and I hope so.
I can't speak to that.
That's what pushed me to PSA is BGS at the time when we were grading pre-pandemic and heading into it, they were more expensive. I think later we found they had a bigger backlog. I think later PSA caught up to them and surpassed them. But, and I was thinking, why am I paying all this money for a freaking paper label that looks like crap? It actually cheapens the card, in my opinion. And so that's what got me going to PSA, which is also paper, I realize, but at least it's all standard. You don't have gold and silver and
sketchy white.
Yeah. All right. So, you want to break down some of these options? Or?
Yeah, sure. Let me throw out just a few metrics, even though we don't want to focus on them. I think it's still good for the listener to hear this. We'll go from PSA down directly in the order that I just mentioned. So for the most economical service for PSA, you can do $25 for a 45 business day. Those are still a lot of business days there.
9 weeks.
So that's $25. For SGC, $15 for a less than $1,500 card. That's 5 to 10 business days.
That's better.
BGS, $18 if you want subgrades. You can do cheaper if you don't want the subgrades. And that's 45 plus business days.
Yeah, I noted on that they charged $15 for no subgrades, which is weird to me. Like, I'm sure I have seen a BGS card without subgrades, but I couldn't find like an example. I'm kind of interested in seeing it. But then it also says on their website, if your card is graded a 10, you have to do subgrades, and we're going to upcharge you $3. Explain that one to me.
Yeah. Tim? Explain that one for us.
I think that covers the price of the ink that it takes to print out the additional subgrades.
Every little penny matters, apparently.
$3,000 markup, or 3,000%.
Exactly.
So I think it's sometimes really hard to follow numbers when they're being presented on an audio form. However, the $3 increase in price between BGS and SGC for well over a month in business days return is just silly.
It is. It's ridiculous.
It's a no-brainer to go with SGC in that case.
I really think it is. And even the CGC is $12, but that's still 40 days. So a little bit cheaper than the others, but you're going to get a much longer return time.
And I did look on their site to confirm that's 40 business days, just like PSA. So you're looking at 8 weeks.
That's if they're on time.
Yeah. Yeah. If they're on time.
So that is tricky. Now, as far as you said, Tim, like SGC seems to be the no-brainer in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
Customer service is something you asked about. And I guess
Yes.
before I jump into that, there are all sorts of different levels for each of these companies that you can do.
Right.
I don't feel like we need to go through those. The
No.
more you pay, the quicker you will get it back.
Yes.
But one interesting thing as a sidebar
Mhm.
is something that you brought up, Ricky, and want to talk about. And I
Yeah.
think we should. And that's the value, the perceived value of the card dictates how much you have to pay to have it graded.
Yeah, and I'm going to challenge you guys and our listeners with this, and feel free to knock me down. Like I would love to be proven wrong and have a good explanation as to this. Before I jump into that, can I make one last quick comment on CGC?
Absolutely.
On their website, they, unlike BGS, will not charge you the extra $3. They'll charge you $5 if you don't fully describe your card on the submission form. You screw up that form, we're fining you $5. I love it.
And who was that?
That's CGC.
CGC. Yeah.
Who are you guys? Like, no one's even heard of you.
Well,
You're going to charge me $5?
Comic book collectors.
Big time.
Maybe.
Big
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Fair.
But I get what you're saying.
Just like
point is
$5.
well taken.
Give me a break.
No.
Yeah, my question, though, more largely as to grading is, one thing I noticed is in researching these companies, it would say, for PSA, for example, the lowest tier, the $25 tier for 45 business days, that has a cap of the card's value. And if your card is deemed more expensive than that value, you automatically have to jump up to the next level, the expedited level, for $40 and 20 business days. So they force you upstream depending on the price of your card. And how they get these prices, I think, Chad, you've had some pretty bad experiences with that. You want to share that?
Yeah, sure. And really just one, but one that was really notable and one of my more recent PSA submissions. So last year at the National, Tim, you and I went, we got those Cacao packs, if you remember from the Mickey and Friends cards. Open up the pack, hit a Mickey National Special, wasn't a refractor, it's a silver card. I sent it immediately into PSA. Now, by the time that they graded it, there were only a handful of these that had already been graded at 10 and had sold on eBay. Like, I didn't waste time. When I got home, I submitted it right in.
You've always been quick about that.
And, you try to be, especially if I'm going to sell it, you want to be quick about it. Now, the hard part is I submitted it. It wasn't the economy, but it was like the second tier level of PSA service. So it wasn't incredibly slow. But they upcharged me because they stated that I had exceeded the cap for that particular category of grading service.
And how did they come to that conclusion?
Based off the 2 or 3 that had only
Of course.
already sold off of eBay.
Of course.
But here's the thing. So I pay the upcharge, of course, because you
what are
have
you going
to
to do? Yeah.
I get the card back, and by the time I get it back, had I listed it on eBay, because I was following these like a hawk, because of course I'm jaded about it. I think they're out there to screw me. Had I listed it immediately, more of these cards had already come back, and they were selling for less than that upper bar was going for in that category.
It's insane. No, and that's my point. It really, the more I thought about this, the more angry I got. And what do you guys think is the idea behind this? Because it's not just PSA. All these companies are doing it. Every single one down to CGC does the same. Do you think that this is the grading company's form of getting a commission for the card? Or do you think it's risk mitigation? Like, hey, we're going to bump this up to a VIP level so no one can forget about it. We all have eyes on it. Those are the two most realistic explanations I could come up with. But it kind of pisses me off especially if you're grading a PC card like this Mickey Mouse rookie card. They're taking a commission off a card you're never going to sell and realize any profit.
Yeah. I've always disagreed with this pricing model. Every card should just be the same price.
I agree.
Depending on time and turnaround, it should just be a flat fee. Like
it's the service you're
it's
paying
criminal.
for.
Yeah, it's criminal. The only reason I can imagine is that, you send in your card at a certain level and it goes to like a certain row of like interns or like, the qualified experienced grader or like the super qualified veteran, right?
Right.
And I think that's probably the only distinction in my mind. I just picture this warehouse where like, you send it for base cards that are under whatever value. And it's just like, people are, so that they don't have to research it.
Right.
Time, right? Because, the time spent to actually sit there and research a card with the millions of cars that they have flying through these warehouses, if it's a valuable card, they do need to verify that, right? Because of their pricing scheme. And it's a scheme, though. That's the problem, you know?
Yeah. However, one thing that bugged me, like for example, on SGC, if your card was over $100,000, you had to pay $33,750.
That's why I don't collect those.
And for every $10,000 over $100K, you have to add another $375. I'm sorry, that just
It's
time.
so stupid.
Time is not a legitimate. It's a great, compelling argument and reason, and I could see that, but they are taking advantage of us
So
if that's what
bad.
they're basing this on.
I have never heard a grading card company explain the pricing in those tiers.
Yeah.
And so that would lead us to speculate, as Tim just mentioned. My mind immediately goes to what you said, and it's based on the experience of the grader. Now, I think that matters. Like, let's say that is real. These grading companies, I would assume, would not admit to that and say that we have an inexperienced person grading
Less
your
experience.
$500 card. And just because to someone who is very wealthy,
right,
thinks a $500 card is not worth much, to somebody else, it could be the most expensive card they ever buy.
Yeah.
And would you want to tell that person that an inexperienced grader is grading your card and that's why you're paying less?
Yeah.
It just doesn't
And I do
make logical sense.
I think that makes the most sense, though. Like what you guys are saying, that's the same thing I'm seeing is risk mitigation. Hey, we don't want this card in our warehouse of 5 billion cards sitting on a stack that can fall over at any time. We want it up front. We want to get it in and we want to get it out so that we don't have to hold on to it. But I think it's all BS. I'm really,
I understand the paying
displeased.
for time,
but not at this level. That's my point, is they are charging way too much money for time. I do get a price increase for time, but this much?
And the variability on pricing for some of these cards, you know, it can literally be like $5,000 gaps between the same cards. Like, you know, the two PSA 9 Jordan rookies that we were looking at in our group chat this week. You know, it was PWCC that was saying, oh, eye appeal matters. And, you know, one was selling for like
14.
Yeah, 14 versus $9,000 or something like that. You know, it was this big gap.
Yeah.
$9,000 difference between the two, whatever it was.
I thought it was like 14 and 21 or something, but
there was a big
something
number,
absurd. And we all decided that the card that sold for more was actually the worst rating.
That's what it seemed like.
But yeah, I'd love to hear from our listeners as well. Feel free to get at us at Pack to the Future Podcast on Instagram. What are your thoughts on this? What is the reason behind it? I'm challenging our listeners. Please, someone explain it to me with authority. Prove us wrong.
It should be easy to do, but
I think we've got a clip on the soundboard for that, and it's money. It's always money. It always comes back to money.
It does.
That's what it does.
It definitely does. Now, with those different card grading companies, for me, I was doing some thinking about this of if I were you, what I would go with. PSA still is the best for me. Like, that's just what I like, the uniformity. However, there were times on this show in previous seasons where I railed and said, I'm going to have every card that's graded by the same company for uniformity. These other cards look like crap.
HGA is what you said.
HGA all the way. That's always been my slogan. Always.
Rest in peace.
I'm jonesing for an SGC card. I got to admit, I have completely changed my mind. I don't have a problem if it's Beckett. I don't have a problem if it's SGC, but I think I would still vote PSA. Tim, which one would you think Chad should go with?
I think PSA is just the most prevalent and recognizable right now. I mean, you'd be kind of foolish to go with other companies. SGC, it just still drives me nuts to this day that the label on the top is not the same size as the card. That's probably my main gripe about the tuxedo.
Yeah.
Beckett cards, I mean, they just protect the heck out of your cards so well. If somebody could duplicate that, they'd be onto something. But PSA.
PSA all the way, baby.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to do SGC. The argument for this is that I hear people like the look of these old vintage cards in an SGC slab.
It's all black and white.
That's number one.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think
I
of that.
agree
Yeah.
completely. As soon as
Mhm.
you said that, I was like, actually, that would look way better for a black and white card.
I have no objective data to back this statement up. However, consistency of grading, I have heard people report, is better with SGC
Yeah.
than what you get with PSA.
Supposedly, yeah.
And so this will not be, this card that I have, it's not going to grade well enough that it will be my final and best Mickey and Walt card. So eventually it will probably get moved.
Yeah.
Or passed along to my sister, but it's not going to be my primetime card.
Right.
And I just don't want a PSA person who's having a bad day. Like when Tim gets a 6, I don't want mine to get a 1 or just an
Or
authentic.
a Kobe.
Yeah, exactly. And I just don't
QA.
want that to happen. I think my gut tells me it'd be less likely to happen with SGC. So that's where we're going to go with it.
I like it. A lot less
Better
money,
customer service too, is what I've heard
less money,
people talk about.
quicker turnaround.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I don't think that's a bad call.
Oh, wait, I just meant to say customer service. Because you can't be better than 0. I guess you can. I guess you have to be better
You have
than
to.
0 by definition. So.
Yes.
Fair. Yeah.
There we go.
Really.
Really nailed that punchline, didn't I?
So as part of submitting this Mickey card, you gonna do any cleaning?
You know, we are here in Utah.
Yes.
And
we
here
are.
in Utah, I would do some things,
Mm.
especially people down south.
Mm.
There are some ways to get around the gospel, rules, if you will. One method that does exist that I have seen, the deep dark web of Tim's internet,
Yeah.
is soaking. That you
Absolutely.
can soak cards to really get that good feel, good eye appeal, and improve your life or your grade.
You just got to get it wet, though. I mean,
We have some
Definition.
for people who are not aware
Yeah.
of soaking. Do you want to read the definition of soaking there?
No, I'd rather your career be on the line. No, I would gladly do it.
I'm going to edit this. I would bleep out the entire thing if I read that. Since you're reading it, you go right.
Oh yeah.
ahead.
So Mormons refer to soaking by as putting a penis in a vagina and then not moving, so it's not sex. This is called soaking. Now the jump man is the person who will jump in the bed next to you, on the bed next to you, soak it so while you're soaking to get some friction going without technically moving.
I think that's the wrong definition.
Oh, that's not it.
I think that's
You know, it's interesting. What's funny about that, though, is you can really tell how good of a friend you have when it comes to this. I was trying to explain this to a friend of mine from California,
mhm.
what soaking is. And he turned to me and our other friend and said, I would totally jump on the bed for you guys. And I knew right then I had a brother for the rest of my life.
That's a good litmus test for sure.
that is pretty good. I think we're actually looking at this one though.
Oh, we are. Oh. So it looks like soaking can be done for various reasons: to remove excess paper or water-based glue, remove or reduce surface wrinkles, improve the look of creases, straighten a slight corner bend, or just to spruce up the appearance and clean a card. What do we think about this?
That would make me so nervous. I mean, I've seen videos of these online under a certain user's Instagram account. And
Wait, are you?
Wait.
Can I ask a really bad question? No, and it's not what you're thinking. I don't think. Are people legitimately dunking their cards in liquid?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
like,
I thought this was just a bit that we
No.
were referring to like
Yeah.
wiping it with maybe the
No,
tiniest wet cloth.
No, yeah. So a certain person's card care product.
Is that what they were recommending people do?
Screw it. It's Kurt's card care.
Oh,
Yeah! Shots fired.
No, his spray for his cards. If you buy enough of it, you buy a large bottle. So here's a conspiracy. He demonstrates this so that you buy more of his liquid
Yeah.
juice, and
Thank you.
Sorry, I was also on that one.
but yeah, soaking your card in these tubs, you literally submerge the whole thing. It terrified me watching him do it
Yeah.
because one of them was like a really old Mickey Mantle. Or like an Ernie Banks rookie card, like just completely dunking it in the solution. And the thought behind it is because it's cardboard and because of the, the top layer of printing, You're getting everything wet inside, but then it's protected, so when you dry it out, apparently the car just,
Really? See, to me, it just feels
I've
like
never seen it.
yeah,
I don't think I could
would
look at
never
it.
do it.
Yeah, I would never.
it would
do
make me so nervous. I mean, the end results are amazing, right? Because you do get the creases and the crinkles and stuff out.
Actually, I think we need to do it with not like a good card.
We're gonna do it right now.
with a really
we're
crappy card.
Pad.
Oh yes, yes.
No, but it's the wrong solution.
Well, any solution can. Oh, yeah. Chad is reaching for a gift from one Boston Steve of one Danny Ainge.
No, you got to crease that first, though, if you're going to do this.
It's creased, it's old, it's beat up, and now Chad's
This is the worst bottle of alcohol I have in the house.
the lowest
Gonna
shelf
sacrifice
vodka.
that? Yeah.
You could put that in your car and drive on it.
Yeah, that's not even well.
Yeah, that's below well. Oh my God. Okay, so he's poured vodka into a bowl and now he's just
Oh, my
diluted it with some
goodness.
water.
Oh, jeez.
We're gonna see. Is this how they do it? Is this how it's done?
Yeah, yeah. It usually is like a little flat plate, like
Oh my-
bowl, but that'll accomplish the same thing.
Oh my God.
All right.
In it goes. Oh, I can
Oh, in it
smell
goes.
that.
Yeah.
God,
That is potent.
atrocious.
This
So-
is gonna eat this card.
Oh, I was talking about the Danny Ainge. So look at this 1988 Fleer. Brigham Young. Oh God.
Yeah, get in there.
Let's crease it right by his nuts.
Oh, that's a paper airplane crease.
Yeah, that's
Oh
Big
my
old
goodness.
crease.
That's a
big
really,
old crease.
really
okay.
fat
So
crease.
I just soak it.
Yeah, you just submerge it. You slip it in,
Ricky?
and you just leave it there.
Ricky, I'm gonna put this on the bench next to us.
Okay.
Will you be my jump man?
Dude, I'll always be your jump man.
How long do I leave it in there for?
I don't know. I think it was like 10, 15 minutes or something.
Oh, that long?
I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Do we flip it?
No, you just let
we
it
push
sit.
it down?
Do you turn it over?
No, I mean, like,
And still jump on it?
Examples I saw are like kind of a shallow dish, and you just float it in there.
Okay.
You don't like turn it over. You just do the same thing.
No, I mean, you're not allowed to move it.
That corner isn't getting wet though.
Here,
And
I got it.
neither
I
is
got
this
it.
Yeah, you guys.
No, you're the jump man.
Yeah, I got you. I'm your jump man. I'm gonna push the corners down.
Ricky
Push
is
it in
using
there a
a
little
top
more.
loader to push it down a little
In
harder.
fact, let's do that.
You can't lay on top of mine. That makes
I
it-
just laid the.
the jump man has become the double
Oh my
soaker.
goodness. Yeah,
He's become the.
that's a
the-
double dipper.
That's a super soaker.
That's a double
Super
stuff.
soaker.
A double stuffed super soaker.
Oh my
Now we have a
goodness.
vodka encased card. Sorry,
All right, there we go. So we're gonna let that do its thing.
I love it.
You know,
Well,
you
that-
could actually, if you were feeling brave enough, you could try that with your Jordan and see if it flattens out any.
Okay, so let's get back to that.
Yeah.
Your initial question, I think, was would you do, or what did you think about this?
Yeah.
Tim's initial reaction is, oof, I'd be worried about what it did to the card. For me, never.
Never?
And I think this will be a very polarizing topic for people.
Yeah.
I feel that people will either be one way or the other, not in the middle. For me, it's probably a never thing. Let me rephrase. If I was ever going to grade a card, for me, it is a never thing.
What if you accidentally slipped and it fell in?
Yeah, it's just not something that I'm into. I have set up arbitrary guidelines. I think we've talked about this before. I will give it the cloth over.
Yeah.
Mm.
I will blow air onto it to get any dust out of there, and that's it.
Hmm.
That's the extent of what I'll do.
Mostly the same for me, but that's just because I don't trust my skills. I want to do the right thing, but I also don't trust my skills. And I'm telling you, this bowl of solution is going to destroy this card. I am just not convinced it works. I know you've seen videos. I know it works, but
Well, I don't know what's in his proprietary product, right?
Yeah,
And he'll
right.
never disclose.
You don't think
but
it's bottom shelf?
I don't
vodka?
think it's bottom shelf vodka, and I don't think it's tap water.
Is Steve watching us?
He'd come crashing through that door.
He'd be pretty. Oh man, yeah. I was going to think we were going to get a hot call.
Oh man.
I do have something for this Danny H card in future shows that I was going to share with you guys pre-show, and I completely forgot about it. But it's going to be a very funny bit, and this is the start of it.
Okay.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
I did, as a real quick aside, and then I'll shut up about this.
No.
Our pager, I think we talked about this. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. The pager that we had during residency that we had to turn back into the University of Utah,
Mhm.
I bought it just to torture it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I would like wait until the middle of the summer and leave it out on my balcony
Yeah.
and like sun torture it.
Yeah.
I would waterboard it.
Yeah.
I would like drive over little pieces of it in my car. I hated that thing.
That thing was so
much
bad.
that
Yeah.
I paid, and I still have it to
You
this
still
day.
have it? Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty
This-
confident I know where this is going.
This may be getting some similar
A
treatment.
little
my
Danny
goodness.
Ainge voodoo doll, if you will.
Exactly.
Oh man. Timmy, would
Yeah.
you soak?
I think I would.
Have you soaked?
I have not done it. Yeah.
But you would.
I want to try it.
Yeah?
Like on a crappy base card. I mean, this Danny Ainge is as good as any, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just curious because the test would be like, do you dry it out?
Yeah.
Do you air it out like some garments? I don't know.
Well, but aren't you worried now hearing what's happened with Kurt's Card Care's submission? He got shut down.
Yeah. I mean, PSA went above and beyond in terms of saying, no, we're going to completely invalidate this submission.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah. And, and then speaking of prices, I mean, I think that was a pretty expensive card. So he
Yes.
might be out like the upcharge fee.
Oh, can you imagine?
PSA's drawn the line.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
line.
Well,
Do you think he was caught because they were aware of who he was and looking for his address, or do you think they're spotting something on the card? That's what I'd be nervous about.
no, I think he made the double mistake of, you know, demonstrating that he did it on social media.
Yeah.
And then saying that he was going to send that card into PSA to see what it would come back in grade
Oh.
as. And so that was just, yeah, foolish. I mean, there's no other word for it.
Yeah. That's challenging PSA.
Yes.
Yeah. There's too many eyes out there on social media, right? Like you can't get away with stuff like this.
No. So all that known, you still would take the gamble.
Well, that's the question though. So after you pull that Danny Ainge out of that bowl, is it going to dry out and stay crusty, or is it going to actually get cleaned off?
Good job.
Thank you.
We'll see.
I think that card's going to disintegrate when you grab it.
It's not looking so hot over there.
It's not looking good.
No.
It's looking a little soggy.
Here's one thing I've learned in medicine. I don't work in a hospital. I know how to keep things alive. Just enough.
Just enough.
This thing isn't going to die. Not today.
Yeah, 10% success
Not
rate.
today. Not today.
Oh,
Can I get it some fluids there?
maybe some adrenaline injections.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Maybe we can get that on there.
EpiPen stat.
I do have one other item.
Yeah.
Just real quick, as a complete aside.
No, we got time.
One last thing I want to show you guys. A mail day for me. I had mentioned a purchase of a hockey card for myself.
Okay.
Now, I'll open up the card. The card is cool. I like it. It's one of our new guys. But the card came from Canada, and the person recognized that I bought a Phoenix Coyotes card. Canadians are just so nice.
They really are.
So this isn't a listener?
No. This is an eBay note.
Canadians are like dogs. We don't deserve them.
We don't. Thanks, Chad. Best of luck when the Coyotes move there. Should be fun. Cheers.
Wow.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all
That's
about.
what it's all about.
And
That's a
now
great seller.
I will open the card.
Do you know what it is?
I do know what it is because I bought it.
This was not a drunken feckin'. Yeah.
No, dude. So, Tim, you may have remembered this. Last weekend, I ran a marathon.
Yeah, you did.
One does not drink while training or running
Oh,
for
that's
a
true.
marathon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am old enough where I will already almost die running a marathon. So, unfortunately, it was not a
Yeah.
feckin' or a second.
I got you.
No, you didn't drink after?
That night, I did.
Okay, good.
That night,
You've
I
earned
did.
it.
Oh, look, he even sent me some extras.
Oh, my
Oh.
goodness.
A goalie? I don't know who that is, Ricky.
Oh, we're
That
gonna
has
have to
your name
research
all
him.
over it. Oh, Cale Makar. I know that name.
Hey, yeah, that's a player.
Oh, you don't
Yeah.
know you don't know Carl Vajameka?
Careful.
But look at this. Clayton Keller, the Cup, Signature Materials, rookie year, patch auto number 99.
That
That's a
is
good-looking card.
slick.
a
That's
good-looking
incredible.
Yeah. Same guy
Aw.
that you've got the patch of there, Ricky.
Yes.
And,
Our guy.
Our guy. Yeah, this is our guy. They arrived today. They arrived today in Salt Lake.
Did they?
The team
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
Yep.
the
They had a
team
big
did.
welcome ceremony and whole bit.
I heard there were hot dog wieners for days. Just want to get in on it.
I like it.
Man, why are these cards so nice?
I know,
Upper
they
Deck,
look
get
good.
your crap together.
Remember, it was last year that I woke up upon the release of the cup, and I'm like, Tim, we have to buy into breaks for the cup.
I know.
It's such a good product.
It really is. I love the 3-color. Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
It's like flawless for basketball, right? Like if you want to collect a player's card, you just wait until everybody's ripped it open and you buy it off eBay and buy it from somebody in Canada, and they'll mail you a card with a love note on it.
Yeah, it's great.
I miss Upper Deck in my sports.
Yeah.
I miss them.
Yep.
Yeah.
That reminds me of collecting as a kid a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. Baseball, Upper Deck.
Oh,
especially.
yeah. Is it time?
I think it's time.
Why is it time?
Oh, it's time, Tim.
Oh, no.
Tim, do you want me to recap 26 miles of my marathon on this show? I don't. Nobody does. It's time, baby.
Let's take a
What are
listener
we starting
poll.
with here?
Would you rather listen to Chad's story about running 26 miles, or would you rather listen to Tim going back to bend over? Oh, the eyes have it. So, okay, Timmy, set the stage for us. What'd you do? When? How? Why?
Let's take this back to last week. So I scroll ahead to my schedule every now and then, and it's like, oh, I have a day off coming on Tuesday. Oh, I don't have my daughter because she'll be at her mom's. Oh, the significant other is going to be working on a Tuesday. That means I have a full day off with no strings attached.
Tim Bueller's day off.
I have
it's
this
both
day
beautiful
marked.
and terrifying.
Very much so.
But that's always the debate because like last week's episode, I called West Wendover, the armpit of Nevada, right? And it's a depressing drive out there, but it was about 8 a.m. after Randy left for work.
Depends what you do on the drive.
Yeah, and then just got that itch, and I was like, okay, now's as good a time as any. It's past rush hour traffic, and I'll just make that drive out there.
And for some reason, going first thing in the morning, I don't find the drive nearly as bad.
It just is so calm. There's no
Right.
cars on the road. Like I passed maybe 3 semis, blew past at a Nevada plate going like 20 miles under the under the speed limit. And, you just, I don't drive 100 miles an hour out there anymore. So the drive actually takes about an hour and 45 minutes, closer to 2 hours when I drive out there now.
That's good.
It's a long drive.
It is.
But
It's a healthy distance, though.
yeah. And
Ish.
so, 8 a.m. I get there at about 10.
Yeah, it's 100
a.m.
miles away.
110.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then you add in the distance, from
Plus all the driving you have to do to get. You guys
To
won't
the
understand this outside
freeway.
of Salt Lake. You have to
Yeah.
go around our mountains
Yeah.
to get out of Salt Lake to the west side of them to even get on this part of I-80 to go straight out.
And past some good ghost hunting locations. as well.
Yes.
I'm sure you stopped along the way.
Dude,
But
I watched that episode of the Salt Air Palace haunting on Ghost Adventures.
Yeah.
Oh, that place.
So
Yes.
have you changed your mind about wanting to go? Because Tim, we had the Great Salt Air booked last year,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it was 100 degrees outside and there's no air conditioning in there. So
Oh,
I canceled
no.
it last minute.
Yeah,
But
I
the
don't
place
blame
is
you.
massive.
If
I mean,
Tim,
it's
if
burned
Tim
down
will,
to the ground 3 times, right?
if
So-
Tim will go, I'll go.
Oh my God.
We'll record it.
Oh, we can. Oh my.
Season 4.
Okay,
Chad, put your pants on.
I will not, and I'm not wearing boxers underneath. Okay, I will set this up at some point, but
Still
I'm
using
sorry. I'm
Manscaped,
sorry
huh?
to derail.
Interesting.
No, yeah.
Tim,
you
Tim,
do
go
have to
ahead.
drive past the Salt Air Palace, and you start to get that like nasty saltwater smell, and then you drive through some clouds and gnats, and they end up all over your windshield. And so I stop at the gas station once I get to West Wendover and cleaning off the front.
And what you pass, if people want a visual, if
Yeah.
you guys have ever seen news articles or movies or coverage of people breaking land speed records,
Yeah.
it's at the salt flats. We are
Exactly.
driving through the salt
Yes.
flats
Yeah.
to get to Wendover.
As about 30 miles away from West Wendover, you see this little sculpture at mile marker 27, and you're like, oh, I'm close, but
No.
damn it, it's still going to take another 30 minutes.
Yes. Yes.
But, once you get there, I stop at the Chevron, get my car all cleaned up. Walked into the convenience store part of it.
I know the exact Chevron you're talking about, and that's the exact
Yeah,
one
yeah.
I stop at.
Yeah, exit 4. But there's the gas station there, and they sell these little, I don't know what they call them, totems, markers, little stone creatures.
Okay.
Bought a turtle because I was like, these are perfect. They're probably about like a inch around in circumference, nice and firm. Got a little nice weight to it, and yeah, they're nice and clean, and they work great as card covers for poker. And I was like, okay, just in case I play some poker. just in case I poker. Yep.
Hey, can you watch the language, man?
I'm gonna get trigger finger over here ringing his bell.
But
We're trying to talk about gambling, and Tim's just over here talking about poking her.
yeah, and so I shove it back in my pocket and get back in my car. So this is the debate, right? Like you drive out of this gas station and you're facing the hard choice of turning right to this place called the Rainbow.
No,
And then
well,
you turn a left and loop a little back to the Pepper Mill. The Pepper Mill was the choice though because they have the poker room upstairs.
They have the concert hall. Is that the one that's
the
concert hall?
and
Yeah.
Peppermill's-
We've had some days at the concert hall.
Yes, we have. We almost got arrested once or twice.
Yes, we did.
Oh,
That's
my
for the
goodness.
Patreon
Yeah.
that
Oh,
we will eventually start.
Actually, yeah, we need to tell that story down the road.
Yeah,
for
that's a good
purchase.
story.
That's
Yeah,
going to be a good story.
We got to know Boyz II Men very well.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Chad may or may not have been in a remote camera, like on a crane.
Oh no!
And shockingly, neither of those interactions are what almost got us arrested.
That's the tease. You're right.
Oh my
You're right.
goodness!
Oh,
Talk about
man.
a tease. Wow.
So you go to Peppermill. That's my jam too.
And I should have taken this as a bad omen. There was like a septic tank, sewage like cleansing tank just to the left of the entrance.
Yeah.
So I walk in, and as I'm walking in, just get this massive waft of just like raw sewage. That didn't keep me from going in.
Dude, even when Tim is either a businessman or he's on business, man.
Yes.
So I settle in, and I throw out my player's card after a losing session because I figure it's a bad juju, right? And I threw away my last player's card. So I walk up to the little customer service desk and I was like, "Hey, can I get a replacement player's card?" I lost my diamond status.
Oh no!
I don't know how to get a diamond status.
No, there's platinum, and then there's diamond past that.
Oh. Okay, hold on. Is this only for Wendover?
Yeah, Wendover. Yeah,
You got diamond status, the
Yeah.
top status
Yeah.
in Wendover.
yeah. I mean, this is the card that like the crazy Asians pull out at like
For those on the West Coast, those have been to Vegas. Wendover's like Fremont Street, but a ghettoer version.
Yeah, like 10 years ago.
How
Fremont
could you
Street.
even make enough money to reach that level? I know it's clearly easy.
it is. Yeah,
That's
but
unbelievable.
That's impressive.
anyway, so they gave me a gold card, and I was like, "What the crap is this?" But it still works. So
Is the gold the bottom level?
pretty low.
That's pretty low.
Explain it, like I
there's
said earlier, explain
there's
it to me like you're
red,
Chad.
There's red. I don't think there was silver. There's like a plain yellow, then a gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then platinum. Yeah.
Okay.
So not too far.
Yeah.
And at this point, Tim is reaching out to Chad and I had a very important question. I said, I need you to give us a head count of how many people there are under 70, not wearing an oxygen mask and not holding a cigarette.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. The number couldn't have been more than 5.
I mean, it was early, right? It was early on Tuesday.
10 a.m. is way too early.
Yeah.
Like none of the regulars have showed up.
It's the most
It's purely just the degenerates at this point.
I've been passing through and stopped in to use the restroom.
Yeah.
It is the most depressing scene. There's maybe a dozen people in there total.
Yeah.
They are all like spending money they don't have.
No.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. You just wonder why any of them are there at 10 a.m. And, you don't point the finger back at yourself. You don't look in the mirror. But,
That's right. I'm not one of you. I'm not one of you.
I'm very, very different from the normal clientele.
You were.
No, but I went to the kiosk and I checked, usually I have comps or free play or like other, like bonuses for comp. And, $250 in free play was my choice, or $250 in table chips, free bet. I went with the free play for slots.
Okay.
It's like, you never know.
Now we do have some audio here, and I have not heard it. I'm going to give some honest reaction. So you need to tell me if at any point we need to stop and play a little.
We
audio.
just played it in the intro.
Uh-huh.
That part.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was me walking into the casino.
But
We'll
there's
tee up the other ones.
okay, perfect.
Yep. And as you heard in the intro, I took my $250 free play, put it in my pocket, and I went to the coffee cart or the coffee counter. And
Wait, no, this is where it gets good. Because Tim and Chad and I had maybe the most lively text discussion during a workday we've had in years.
That's true.
And what did you get at the coffee stand with you? Yeah, he doesn't stop right at the
No, I didn't go
Machine.
straight to a machine, so not like I did in our Vegas trip when we went down to record an episode. No, so I went to the little coffee bar, and they have pastries in their little refrigerated case. And just to stick it to the peppermill a little bit more, I ordered 6 blueberry muffins and 6 blueberry scones, and stuck them back in the freezer pack that I had in my car, because I was like, I'm getting some free breakfast for the next 2 weeks.
You showed him, man. You did it.
Did you take?
I just jabbed them a little bit.
Did you take all the? Oh, I guess you didn't spend the night, because I was gonna say, did you take the shampoos?
No, yeah, those rooms are.
I might be
do
able
not
to
want
show
bed
this
bugs.
photo on YouTube here shortly.
Yes.
So if you're watching it, you're going to be in for a treat.
But that's not really what
No,
you
but
got.
you guys said what? Like, I think Ricky, you said I needed a picture with my lucky donut.
The lucky donut.
Yes, yes.
He said, "What are you doing,
Yeah.
Tim?" He said, "I'm getting a lucky donut."
Yep.
And a milk. Was it milk
He did.
or coffee?
No, it was a cinnamon twist or a cinnamon sugar twist. Yeah.
No, what'd you have to drink?
Oh, vanilla latte. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, just more
My
sugar.
lucky donut and my coffee.
Yeah.
He was so happy.
Yes,
you could
he
tell
was.
through the text before he even sent us this photo.
I never actually tried that before. I actually hadn't, eaten a lucky donut before.
Yeah.
And as we heard in the intro, it worked.
Yeah.
After that donut, I plopped down at this machine, and I'm taking a sip of the latte, and I'm transferring my credits over, and I push it once, just to get the thing going. And on the second try, it got stuck. Like the bell.
It did. You've worn it out already.
Man, I'm like, what just happened? Like, I legitimately thought the machine had broken. I was like, oh man, they're setting off the light. It was like, call attendant.
Oh no.
Then I look a little closer, and because I was like drinking my coffee and like eating my donut, I got one bite into my donut. I look up, and it's the three columned slot machines where if you match all 3, you get your payout. And this machine is the 3-4X, whatever, triple diamond, whatever they call it. And first slot was the little 2X marker. The middle slot was a double bar, and then the last slot was little 5X. Yeah. And so,
That's amazing.
So you do a little math, and like the 2 bars normally would have paid out. Get this relic. No, it was 2 and 4. Yeah, so it would have paid out like 50. And then so you multiply by 8, and then
Nice little win.
Yeah.
Now, so let me just recap, because you kind of lost me there for a second.
That's okay. Yeah.
Me too.
So are you telling us that you put your money into the machine, pull the lever, and think it's broken? In reality, you're hitting the jackpot?
Yeah, no, I felt like one of the mini jackpots.
Oh, this is Breaking Bad over here.
That was so genuine. That was not
It
genuine.
was. It totally was.
I
It
love
totally was.
Oh my goodness!
You're my favorite.
You could have just jacked me off right then.
Oh my God. Oh,
Yeah, so 2-3X, whatever, and then so
Yes.
$1,200, and so the attendant's like taking her sweet time just to get over here, but
there we go. I got it up on YouTube right here. Yeah.
YouTube.
What were the multipliers? I got it all wrong.
It was 3X and 2X.
3X, 2X.
Yep.
Yeah, so
And-
6. Yeah.
Look at this photo on on YouTube. Even if you're listening to this on like your phone, because that's your ritual on Saturday, go onto our YouTube and go check it out. You've got to see this photo of Tim. Tell me that's not the happiest little boy you've ever seen in your
Ever.
life.
Ever.
Everything that he loves is in that photo, minus his significant other and daughter, of course.
Yep.
But every non-human thing that Tim loves is sitting right in that corner. I've never seen Tim smile that wide.
No.
I think I could give him $1,000
No.
and he wouldn't smile like
Yep,
that.
I agree.
I smile plenty like
Look at it, bro.
Okay, now compare this video with that photo.
man.
That's
was
a happy,
happiness, man.
happy boy.
That donut, that's going to be the new routine, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like I had texted you guys like on the way.
What new routine?
Oh, damn it.
There's
So,
no
like if I ever go back, you got to buy the lucky donut.
Yes.
Um,
You know when you're heading back?
no.
All right.
For reasons disclosed later that we'll talk about.
Nice.
But
But there was more from that day.
Lots more.
Yeah. So, I'm already up $1,200 on the house after the lady finally counts out 1,200s for me and gave me the wonderful little tax form that I'll have to offset with some gambling losses in some miraculous way. But
I don't think it'll be that hard.
I don't think it's gonna be that hard, Tim.
I know. Just legal losses.
That's actually gonna be very hard.
Very hard.
Keep all your receipts when you gamble, boys and girls.
Will they allow fatal four ways?
No. Yeah. I show,
You
show
take
my
this to
Cash App
H&R
statement.
Block.
Yeah.
What the hell's a fatal four-way?
Yeah. My CPA just craps their pants. It's like, get out, you're fired.
Tim, what category am I supposed to put this under?
Tim, we've decided you're a liability to our firm. We're going to have to ask that you leave.
I know. Oh, man. Anyway, so I'm up $1,200 now on the house, and I was like, okay, I came here to play blackjack. It's time. Sit down at this table. As I walk up to this table,
I think that's where we are. I think we're at number 2. I forget which one this
Give it a
is.
little audio.
Tim did great with audio clips.
This is labeled BJ time.
All right, so after that $1,200 win at the slots off of free play, I am headed over to the pit finally. Looking for a blackjack game. We'll see what happens here. I plan on house money.
All right.
The excitement, the noise
Did you hear
of the
that?
casino
Yeah,
in the
just-
background.
It sounds so much like it sounds like it's Vegas on Friday night.
Yeah.
I promise you there are 3 skeletons in that room.
And you're in your
Guaranteed.
element,
Yeah.
man.
Guaranteed,
You're in your happy place.
No, but so speaking of degenerates, I walk up to this table and this guy, like, he's just got the worst body language going on. And he's, the dealer just looked like a really sketchy dealer too. And, lo and behold, as I walk up, dealer pops a 21, like out of 5 cards.
Of course.
And this guy just like slams down his last card and he's like, I'm done. And he walks away. I'm like, do I really want to sit at this table?
That's where you're happiest.
It's the only choice, though. It's the only $25 table. I'm not playing one of the min limit ones where, like these people don't even know what to do. So I sit down anyway, and I plop my cash down on the table. And this dealer, his hands are just like shaking the whole time. I'm like, oh gosh, this guy's going to deal me cards. And so I'm getting kind of nervous. But
So are you thinking it was tremor, like withdrawal, or?
no, I think it was just nervous.
Okay.
I didn't recognize this dealer from any of my previous trips. And
Bro.
Have you ever heard someone say that to you?
No, they still recognize me from like 7 years ago.
I believe it. I just have never heard that.
Those
This
are not
isn't-
words oft used.
This isn't Vegas where there's like 200 dealers that
True,
rotate
true.
in and out,
True.
But this guy, he's like fumbling through my hundreds, and I'm just like, what are you doing, dude? And so he finally gets everything down in the slot after shoving it a couple times, and then, finally starts trying to count out my chips. And he doesn't know how to stack them out correctly. Like, I almost wanted to just reach over the table and be like, here, 500, 500, 200.
Good thing you
Spill
didn't.
it, Yeah, no.
And Tim, you're a very proper guy when it comes to certain things, and gambling is one of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want things to be nice and aligned and
Yeah.
neat in the way that they should be
You
presented.
got to start off well.
And I got to imagine this just irked you.
Oh yeah. Pretty off
I
your
was like,
game.
holy crap. But, I think it was at 10:30 at that point, and it was shift change. So a new dealer walks up and taps the guy out after kind of like looking over his shoulder and is like, what is this guy doing? Susie, a dealer I recognize, super nice, starts chatting me up. It's
Yeah,
like,
we do have 2 blackjack hand audios, so if either of these are them, tell me.
I don't think it's them yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So, start dealing. And actually the next one. Yeah.
All right, so I got a little scare there. The dealer pulled 2 21s out of 3 hands to start the shoe. After a couple more shoes and shuffles, I am now plus 650 on this blackjack session. 1850 up on the house so far. Let's keep this going.
So where were you when you recorded that?
Well, it was like mid shuffle, dealer change, and so I just stepped away from the table.
Oh, you
And
did.
then-
Okay, I
yeah,
was wondering. I was kind of nervous for you.
Yeah, no,
There are no rules.
There's no rules, but yeah, I don't think they really want me recording anything at the table.
No,
So,
not a good look.
Yeah, no. It's not a Netflix documentary.
Yeah. Speaking of, what kind of got your goat going out there?
Oh, my
Because
goodness.
something inspired you.
Yeah, I don't even remember the name of the documentary anymore. Inside the Edge or something, right? That
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, about this professional blackjack player. Advantage Players was his whole thing about talking about it. card counters, basically, of which I'm one, but I'm not on any of the purported lists that
Yet.
Vegas, has. I guess there's a Griffin book, like this black book that these professional players are listed on. And once you're on there, like you can't gamble at any casino in the vicinity of Vegas.
Oh, brutal.
So I'm not on that list,
Thank God.
But card counting 101. I mean, it's not a very complicated system, especially in a single deck blackjack game like is out in Wendover.
Okay.
So basically, +1 for a favorable count anytime a low card comes out. So, 2 through 6, 7, 8, 9 are neutrals of zeros. Anytime there's a 10 face card ace, it's -1 because there's one less good card in there. And then in single deck, I'm also able to just track like how many aces are out. It's easy enough.
Yeah.
So, within the first couple shoes, up 650. Then this big burly dude who was over by the slot machines, like losing his ass on the $100 a spin, machine. He walks over and he's like, hey, how's it going? How'd you do over at slots? And well, this was me asking him, and he's like, okay. Pulls out this big wad of cash. Thank God it wasn't that old dealer, that was like super nervous. He just throws it on the table. I'm like, that's a lot of money. So, this is where I got the chance to record because their dealer's like sitting there counting out all this money. $9,000, that's a pretty hefty buy-in for West Wendover.
Yeah.
I'll say.
And he's asking for like the purple chips, which are the $500 chips, and a few black ones to play with. Meanwhile, I have a stack of black $100 chips with some of the greens, which are $25. So I'm like getting completely outclassed at this point, but people with that much money generally know how to play
It's
blackjack.
West Wendover at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. There is no class.
Yeah,
There's no
exactly.
class. But yeah, this guy came ready to play, and so you never know how the new player is, going to affect things. I was running pretty well, and a little up and down.
Let's play the audio.
Well, that was kind of wild. Went up to about 2,900 and then brought in a new dealer, the Cooler, and now down to 900.
Susie, yeah.
Let's see where this goes.
Yeah,
You built it.
I like that he had Danger Zone playing.
I know. I love the music.
yeah, that's true.
You were entering the Danger
was,
Zone.
Yeah, it literally was, because Susie was super nice and she was dealing out the cards well.
I just have to ask because a couple weeks ago, is she hot?
She's not bad looking.
Yeah.
For Wendover, especially
Yeah.
standards. This Adolfo comes wandering over to the table. I'm like, oh fudge, I just had to try. So at that point, he starts cold decking us, and I got back down to $900. I was like getting so excited when I was so excited when I got up to 2,900 because I was like, if I could just get over this $3,000 hump, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And then we'll keep the heater going and just keep pushing because felt pretty safe at that point. But anyway, I got back down to $900. And you're like, I don't know. For those that gamble, once you get below what you came into the casino with, you get this like sick feeling in your stomach. You're like, is this going to keep going bad? Can I make the comeback? You just have this really uneasy feeling. And I started getting that uneasy feeling at $900. So
That's
Adolfo
called
deals me another loser. And I'm like, oh, fudge. So I'm looking over to the guy to my right, who came in with the $9,000. He's down to like $3,000. And we're both just like, we've got like really crappy vibe at the table. And right before the shuffle, the count's like super favorable. I think it was like +5 at the time. I shove in my last bit of chips. And I'm like, I had to remind myself that this is house money. I'm just going to put it out there. So $500 bet. And then to the right is a match bet. That's called the Royal Match. And so, play the next clip.
Wow. What a whirlwind. I've only been playing for an hour and 45 minutes, but it's felt like an eternity.
Come back to it.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. So this hand, max bet $500, and dealer turns up a 6, deals me out a king of diamonds, and I look at the next card, queen of diamonds.
Yeah,
it's a royal match. And so suited king queen pays out 10-1 on the $100 bet. So it was $1,000 payout instantly, and then the hand pays out as a winner because the dealer busts on the 6 like he's supposed to finally.
Finally,
Adolfo.
Adolfo.
Yeah, breath of fresh air, you know. So looking at $2,000 back in my pocket, so 2,100 because of the bet chip on the Royal Match.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, we're good again. And the hand after that, so new dealer comes in. This is like by far and away one of the more ridiculous hands I've had. I get dealt twos, a pair of twos. Dealer is showing a 6. So, you know, cards, anytime the dealer's showing like a 2 through 7, 2 through 6 for sure, you split your twos no matter what. And so I split my hands. I have a 2 and a 2. On the first hand, I get dealt a 9, so 11. That's like one of the best outcomes you can get, right?
Right.
In West Wendover,
Can you then double down?
they take away that advantage in West Wendover, which is why it's just not fun playing there. It's one of the most profitable ways you can actually get an advantage on the house. So deals the next card. It's a freaking 5. So I'm sitting at a juicy 16 on that hand. I'm like, okay, standing. Next hand, got a 2. Deals another 9. I'm like, okay, great. Deals the next 5. So I'm sitting on 2 16s. Like, okay, so the dealer's got a bust. So he's got a 6. He flips under the card a 5. So there's now 3 5s if you're tracking with me. Right. So he's got 11. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm going to lose. The next card he pulls is a 5. So all 4 5s came out on this hand because it's a single deck blackjack. So 16. And he finally pulls a face card and busts.
Yes!
One of the ugliest hands I've ever played. But that was the beginning of the end, so to speak, because now we can finish the clip. So.
Wow. What a whirlwind. I've only been playing for an hour and 45 minutes, but this felt like an eternity. My heart's racing right now. I am exhausted. Just walked away from the table. I was not on a heater, and that's absolutely the reason why I walked away. Got as high as $2,900. Got down to $900. Actually scratched that $600 after losing that hand. Next hand, I shove in for my last 500 with 100 on the side bet, which is a royal match bet. Any 2 cards of the same suit pay out 3-1. And then any matching king queen is the royal match. And so hit the royal match for a $1,000 bet. Won the hand, and I was back, baby. After that, though, kind of up and down, got as high as 2,500 again, and then down to 1,500 again. Got back above 2,000. Tried playing with my last 300. Dealer caught a little fire there, and that's all she wrote. Set myself a limit at 2,000. That just sounded like a nice round number. Didn't seem like I could get over that hump of $3,000, and generally that's a bad sign that I can't really push it much further this session. But shoot, $2,000 off of a free play, $250 free play here in West Wendover, Nevada. Who'd have thought? What a Tuesday.
Man, again, can you hear the happiness in his voice?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, crazy though, and I've never been that exhausted after playing blackjack for just an hour and a half, basically, because I'm like way out of practice as far as tracking cards. I just didn't have it in me. So, but $2,000, could not complain about that.
How much time total did you log in the casino? I guess
less than 2 hours. Yeah,
I'm impressed.
Hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't think we would see him before.
I thought you were going to
start a show tonight.
Yeah, I thought you were going to get a hotel room out there.
I had the whole day, and I was like, oh, $2,000. I'm good. I'm tired already. Bad vibe at the table. I'm going to leave with $2,000.
I am damn proud of you, man.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It was a good trip.
Job.
I was back home by 2, Yeah. Less than a work day. Can you imagine if I was able to do that like every single day? $2,000 a day.
I wasn't going to pull the curtain back, but then we did get texts from Tim the rest of the week telling us how he's going to be a professional blackjack player and make thousands. And Chad just simply responded, "What about the pandas?"
But yeah, that was a fun trip anyway. So
Well, you got money to buy my pandas back now. So
I do. Yeah. So.
Oh man. Well, that was another fun show for Chad and Tim. I'm Ricky, the Royal Match, wishing all of you a one of one night. Oh, fun show, guys.
that was good. Should we take Danny out?
Yeah, let's do.
Oh my god!
Oh my
god! Yeah, well played. What's it look like?
Shit.
Shit.
It didn't look like it did much, to be honest.
No.
Really? Yeah. I guess you just gotta wait and see what happens.
Now you got to put it between two pillowcases.
And sleep under it tonight.
I think you're supposed to put it between your two pillowcases
Yeah.
and then sleep.
I mean, it looks like a card that's been underwater. I thought it would disintegrate,
Yeah.
but it did.
I
no
was
such thing.
positive it would.
Especially
Yeah, it
with
did no such
alcohol in
thing.
it. Yeah.
I'm blown away. It didn't. Well, that corner doesn't look great, but it didn't do more
I guess
more
it-
damage. Is that top part stained? That white line?
Yeah, yeah.
Was it stained before the
Yeah,
vodka?
yeah.
I didn't know if the vodka had done that. Maybe.
You can't kill the undead of the demon of Danny Ainge.
Oh, can I
I don't
suggest
think that's
an
come
idea for
out.
Danny?
Yeah.
It's going to take some holy water.
Can we go axe throwing?
Absolutely.
Put him right in the
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yep.
that would be fun. Yeah,
Absolutely.
middle.
Absolutely.
Show filled trip.
Yeah.
And if he isn't destroyed by the end of the axe trip, next to the axe throwing store is a break destruction room.
Well,
So
I
we
don't
could-
want him to fully die.
No, but we
It's
could beat
torture.
We could like pull office space and like they did with the copier,
Yeah.
take it out, and just hit
Yeah.
it with a bat a
Yeah.
few times.
Start
Yep.
beating him. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
I like.
Pull Chad away, he runs back and jumps off.
I would.
Oh man.
Well, that was good. People had some fun on the YouTube. A couple people hopped on despite me forgetting to.
Good. Thank
Promote
you.
that, so-
Thank you. And this was a good show to do it on.
Yeah, Ryan, we appreciate you commenting and for everyone jumping on. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back at it next week. What day are we
Thursday?
going to do? Thursday?
I'm open anytime.
I think it's
Yeah, I think
Wednesday
that
with
works
my
for
work
me.
schedule. I think it's Thursday. I'll let you guys know.
Wednesday or Thursday.
Can you look? Or do
I
you
know.
need your, do you need
Yeah,
your
I
phone?
need that.
Okay. So we'll let people know. And we appreciate everyone jumping on. Like and subscribe. See ya, motherfucker.